iFiber One News' all-access tour of the Cougar Creek Fire Command Center near Leavenworth continues today with an inside look at several compartments of its operation that are critical to both those who are fighting the fire and the residents of the communities who are in its path. Being a wildland firefighter is extremely dangerous, and with nearly 1,000 men and women all actively engaging in such a hazardous job in one place, having a stalwart medical team on standby is of the utmost importance.
We basically have a mini MASH unit here. We provide all care. We have all the equipment that we need for full cardiac events, full-blown anaphylaxis, anything that's very serious. We can usually take care of it, and we'll have an ambulance respond from town and transport the individual. We also have 2 ambulances on the fire, out on the line actively every day, and 1 at night.
The camp is even equipped with a helipad for transporting any seriously burned or injured firefighters to an advanced infirmary outside the immediate vicinity. And when it comes to the treatment of those who require aid in camp or out on the fire lines, the Cougar Creek Medical Unit has a gold standard by which it operates.
We try to meet the golden hour, which basically means that anybody who's injured or seriously ill gets treated by advanced life support within 1 hour, and we've been able to do that on all of our incidents.
Most of the maladies seen at camp aren't too serious, and there are several which are more common than others and that can grow in number as a fire spreads in acreage.
When fire season starts, the first week is blisters, sore feet, blisters, whatever. The second week of the fire, the firefighters usually do pretty darn well. And the third week, most people have upper respiratory infections from all the smoke and dust.
When a medical emergency happens or firefighters need to request anything else, being able to relay those messages is critical. And that's a task which the internal communications sector of the camp broadly shoulders.
Well, public information communicates with the outside world. We communicate with the inside world. It's basically from here to the fire line and the fire line to here. Basically the fire line able to talk to us to tell their needs, or the biggest one is if they have a medical emergency out there and they need to get help out on the line.
To keep the camp's personnel in direct, reliable contact with firefighters on the front line, there is an intricate and portable communications network which has been implemented.
We have an extensive radio network that's a portable system that we put in all the time, and we put repeaters on mountaintops, and then we monitor that in here.
Any other kinds of technology being used with the emergence of cell phones and digital video, that sort of thing?
Yeah, we're actually got a lot of that's all contract stuff, but yeah, we actually have a digital fiber telephone system in here now, and we're doing stuff with cell extenders and a lot of that kind of new technology.
Just as there is a specific infrastructure designed to help firefighters maintain constant contact with the camp, so too exists a highly complex structuring for keeping the firefighters informed about a variety of intelligence that transmits the other way. This branch of the camp is called the Situation Unit.
The Situation Unit basically gathers information and intelligence from the line, from operations staff. We gather information from infrared flights at night, and we do some other things like that. We gather information from all the other units around camp as to what's happening, how many resources we have, that sort of thing. Compile all that information and then put it in products like maps. We have something called a 209 report, which is basically information about the fire that gets transmitted. I think it's incorporated into national level reports. So we're gathering information, disseminating information. We're kind of the information hub of the fire.
With critical details about the wildfire changing all the time, the team of staffers at the Situation Unit use an array of different means to circulate important information, including the frequent printing of many maps of various types and sizes.
It's really important. We print a lot of maps for the firefighters on the line, very specialty products for them, so that they have the information they need to stay safe and know where everything is on the ground. We provide a lot of digital products. A lot of the firefighters can carry just on smartphones, tablets, and devices in the field and have all the information they need about all the fire lines, dozer lines, and everything going on. So that works really well for them. So the digital projects, we're moving more that way the last few years. We've been getting more and more high-tech that way, but we still rely a lot on paper maps.
Tying the camp's entire framework together also comes down to a great deal of technical coordination and communication. And those in the leading roles of that responsibility say it's actually not much different than running your own household.
It's really no different than your home. If you think about your home, you have to have food, you have to have shelter, you have to have fuel, you have to have those necessities. And that's a lot of what you're seeing here in the camp. And what all this is really does is support the 1,100 some folks that we have here in the firefighting effort.
The type of management that any natural disaster requires depends on a number of circumstances, and the Cougar Creek Fire qualifies as one at the top of that spectrum.
Incidents are based on complexity. So Type 1 teams manage the most complex environments. So if you think about it that way, a Type 3 team would be handling something that might be an emerging incident, certainly may very well manage it throughout its life, or may very well have to turn it over to another organization that has more capability and capacity. So a Type 1 team would have more capability and capacity than in this case, or this conversation, a Type 3 team would.
Although the fury of a wildfire's raging flames presents a specific challenge, they are actually rather predictable in their behavior, which makes the biggest test of any fire management's command structure something far less predictable: its people.
Biggest challenge that we have in this job, or probably any of our jobs, is relationships and dealing with our personnel, dealing with the community, and tying that all together at time of crisis. That's the biggest challenge and probably the biggest reward. The relationships that we have here in Chelan County, this county is a fire environment, and so they are accustomed to dealing with fires and incident management organizations. And so the blending of folks, because it's time of crisis management, the blending of folks in terms of being able to come up with direction and consensus for direction is critical. And again, we enjoy a good relationship here in Chelan County.
The Type 1 Pacific Northwest Team 3 Incident Management Team assigned to the Cougar Creek Fire has been in operation for less than a week now, but it has already been making a difference in the lives of the firefighters who are battling the blaze and the region's people who are supporting their efforts. Reporting from the Cougar Creek Fire Command Center near the Leavenworth National Fish Hatchery in Leavenworth, Washington, I'm Chris Hansen.